Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Movie Trivia Schmoedown! What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome to this new episode of the Schmoedown Rundown. My name is Aaron. I am your host, as always, for these proceedings. Joining me today, Frank Janish. What's up, dude?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Also joining us today, once again, Mr. Paul Wolf. What's up, sir?
Glad to be back.
All right, let's go to the Schmoedown news rundown for this week. First off, right off the top, this is kind of a correction. We tried to land Elliot Dewberry for an interview, as happens sometimes. To quote John Campea, things happen. Schedules get kind of muckety-muck, and it happens. Elliot was unable to join us this evening, but I have spoken with him, and we are trying to work out something for next week. So as long as he's not scared, he can come next week on the Schmoedown Rundown.
I don't buy it. I think he's scared.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Like I said, I think he threw his back out carrying Ricky.
Oh yeah, that's probably it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. And now he'll never answer a call again. Okay. Terrific. But yeah, I'm sorry to anybody that was expecting Elliot on this episode. It happens. So don't be mad at us and don't be mad at him. It's nobody's fault.
Be mad at Ricky.
Right. Exactly. Always be mad at Ricky. If nothing else, even if he didn't do anything, just be mad at Ricky. It's fine. All right, guys. First of all, Perry Nemiroff, we found out this week, will be overseeing the scoring of future Schmoedowns and helping Chris Skaliski write some questions. I like to refer to Perry now, and don't hack this, anybody. This is from my brain. Perry Nemiroff is the Swiss Army knife of Collider. She can do it all. She can host. She can be a panelist. She can do backstage interviews. She can produce. She can rap. She can do it all, man. So Perry, kudos to her. Awesome to see Perry doing everything. She is truly the Swiss Army knife of Collider Video. How about this? How about now questions appear on screen? How about that? That's pretty crazy. And a welcome addition. Also, we're getting a new wheel that we found out this week on the Schmoes Know live show, that there is a new wheel. It is on the way. I don't know if you guys have noticed. You probably have. The wheel that they currently have has been having some issues staying together. It seems to kind of be weighted in one direction, but that's all going to change. Kristian Harloff, the commissioner himself, announced that Free for All is officially announced, the Schmoedown version of the Royal Rumble. It will be 30 competitors, winner getting a shot at a title of their choosing. Also, Jen Sturger, who you have seen on the past couple of Schmoedown episodes, will be a rotating sideline reporter for Schmoedown events. Along in the rotation will be Emma Fife and Perry Nemiroff as well. There you go. Once again, Perry just doing it all. So, guys, I'm going to start with you on this one, Frank. What do you think of this news? What sticks out to you? What are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to the wheel. I really hope they got the wheel from The Price is Right. I think that'd be a great wheel. You have people going up there just slamming down on that thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Come on.
Paul, anything stick out to you on this?
Yeah, just to kind of back up what you guys were talking about, the wheel, Chris Skaliski actually did confirm this, that some bullet points that he mentioned, there's going to be less wedges and magnetic pie slices, so they don't have to always hand write, so they can switch them out as needed. So that's kind of a cool little thing. What I saw is those questions on the screen was such a great idea, and so cool, because we can now play along even more than we did before, and I really enjoyed that. And even with the multiple choices on there too, so a very welcome addition to the Schmoedown.
And this one I totally looked over was that you now see hashtag Schmoedown in the upper left corner, which was a nice addition. I don't know if a lot of people caught that, but yeah, it's like that WWE flair. If you watch any kind of like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, up in the corner of every WWE pay-per-view is hashtag whatever that event is. So it's just an easier way to integrate with the online community for fans to get more involved in the Schmoedown on whatever social media they choose. All right, let's jump into the recap this week. It was elimination week, man. People were going home left and right. People were breaking up. People were dancing to Celine Dion. It got weird. So let's talk about the first match. It was the Real Rejects, Greg Alba and John Humphrey versus the Wangers, RB3, and of course, my good buddy, Cobster. And the scoring went a little something like this. In round 1, the Real Rejects got 7 points, and the Wangers pulled out 8. In round 2, the Real Rejects rolled Opponent's Choice, which the Wangers selected mixed bag for them. 4 of 6 for 8 points. The Wangers, unfortunately, rolled Natalie Portman, or so they thought. They ended up getting 4 of 6 for 6 points. 1 steal for the Wangers for 1 point. 1 steal for the Real Rejects for 1 point. In round 3, the Wangers missed the 1, missed their 3, got the 5. The Rejects also missed the 1, their 3, but they did get the 5, and the Real Rejects defeat Team Wangers 21-20. So it looks as though, unfortunately, RB3 and Cobster will be splitting up. So, guys, what did you think of this matchup?
First off, once again, animation reared its ugly head in this match. 6 questions, Disney and Pixar. None of them got correct. Unfortunately, again, that pains me again to see that, unfortunately. But looking throughout the rest of this match, I am now seeing the pattern of round 1 being the same categories. Now, with that being said, seeing those categories, we did not really have a very strong round 1 with RB3. I saw 3 out of 8, and same thing with Greg, 3 out of 8. Nobody got, like I said, animated. Nobody got the action adventure. It was a very painful start to the matchup. Round 1 seems to be catching a lot of people off guard, not for the fact that the actual round 1 is not working, but it's working really well. I love the fact that it's all the whiteboards and they say the names out loud, and so they all get the same question. So that is working well. It seems like the round 1 is really tripping people up, and not everybody's getting very high percentages there. They got 4 out of 4 comedy and fantasy sci-fi. The rest were 3 out of 4 or lower. Looking at round 2, the Opponent's Choice came back again, and the Wangers almost went heel with, "What do you want?" That was really funny.
That's weird.
And then he was like, "Well, I was gonna ask them and then not pick that one." And then they started booing. I guess the crowd started booing a little bit, but they equally had a pretty decent round 2. Natalie Portman versus the mixed bag coming back, and then round 3 kind of did them in again. And again, it's the luck. I mean, the Wangers lost every one of their matches by the last question, and you can see the same thing with the Real Rejects. They lost 2 by the last question, and they won this one by the last question. So somebody had to lose, unfortunately. But what we got at the end, we'll probably touch on in a few minutes. But what we got at the end, it's almost like a brand new era for the Wangers. So overall, I really liked how it just kind of built on itself. That round 1 built upon itself to the round 3, and we got to that last question, and it was a very good match towards the end of it.
Now, Frank, before I kick it to you, would you agree, Frank, that this match was probably better than I would say that we thought it would be? Am I wrong?
It depends on your definition of better. I would say
not the mega powers and the Wangers.
I would say it was more competitive than I thought it would be. In terms of level of play, not so much in that department. These teams didn't fare very well answering correctly. Real Rejects ended up with 48%. Wangers ended up near 52%. Real Rejects came ahead in the points department, earning 56%. Wangers earning 54%. So in the end, obviously, Real Rejects won. The one thing that's becoming quite clear is round 1, which Paul pointed out. Teams are having a hard time, and it's not even just in the teams. It's kind of in the singles as well, but in the teams, we really see that teams are barely answering over 50%. Real Rejects answered 43.75%. Wangers at 50%. It's kind of interesting to see with the more opportunities that people and teams aren't doing as well performance-wise on an individual basis. I thought John Humphrey had a really good match. He didn't have particularly what I would say strong matches the first 2 times in the Schmoedown. But this match, I think he really picked up Greg where he faltered sometimes. And I was really impressed with John's performance this time around, and it gives me hope that Real Rejects can do some more damage going further into the league this year. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Wangers, I like the Wangers a lot. It was time. This was the right team to split up, in my opinion. I'm curious to see what RB3 goes on from here and how I think we'll get into the faction that was formed after this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if nothing else for John Humphrey, his jacket game was on fire. Oh my God, that jacket. I need to find it. I need to find it now. I thought Campia's jackets were cool. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. That's an amazing jacket. I need to get that. That's terrific. Like I mentioned earlier, the Wangers came out to the Celine Dion dance, and it was awkward, but kind of adorable. And I saw some people on the YouTube chat that were saying that there was controversy in the last question because Kristian counted down on Greg and he got to 0 and he hadn't answered yet. And it took like an extra second. Who cares? Doesn't matter. They got it anyway. Cobster and RB3 didn't care, so I don't care. But after the match, we saw Cobster basically pulling a Finstock-ish move and retiring but not retiring, as he has decided to become a manager and will manage RB3. But not only that, they have joined forces with the Real Rejects to form the Young Bucks, super kicking people left and right. So let me get your thoughts on this first. I'm going to kick it back to you, Frank. What do you think about this stable, and what can they do going forward in the Schmoedown, you think?
I was pretty excited when they came up with this Young Bucks stable. I thought it was pretty cool that they combined forces with Real Rejects. They seem to have a really good chemistry together, repertoire together. Obviously, RB3 is competing in singles. I don't know if Greg or John has any aspirations into singles. That's going to be interesting to find out. Or is this going to be, just RB3 singles and they got Real Rejects and the team avenue? And then will they get another fourth competing person, perhaps? I'm not sure who that might be. I have an idea. And then you have this whole other dynamic with another stable. Where are they going to fit in with these other two, the Lions Den and the Four Horsemen? So interesting to see how this goes and what Cobster can bring to the manager role, and will he have a rivalry with another manager?
Tough call. Who knows? Paul, what do you think of this stable forming?
I think Kristian said it best in the post game, if you will. They've got a lot of work to do. If they're combining their forces, they do have a lot of work to do with the, again, losing Wangers 0-3 and again, Real Rejects winning just that one on that last question. They got a lot of work to do, especially with seeing the other factions, with the Patriots and with the Lions, and seeing how strong they are as a team and individually. They do have an uphill climb. I'm glad to finally see a face team. For those wrestling fans out there, that's the Good Guys. There's a Good Guy team out there finally. Hopefully we will see another Good Guy team pop up. I have some ideas myself. There's some rumors flying around. I'm not going to confirm nor deny that. But the one thing that I did see in that post interview was the fact that Jonathan Voitko kind of surprised us, came out and challenged, while Perry was doing the interview, Tough Beats challenged the Real Rejects. That's out there. So I'm intrigued to see what happens and when that gets scheduled, if that gets scheduled in the near future. But I don't know. What'd you guys think of that challenge?
Didn't seem like Perry was in on it, that's for sure.
No, she did not.
Listen, man, I kind of compare the Real Rejects right now to Superhero News. They're one of those teams that could easily have a flip-flop record. They could easily be 2-1 or 3-0 at this point. But like I've said many times, I really enjoy the Real Rejects. I've liked them since they came in this league. I think they're just a fun team. They're just two guys that come in. They don't take it too seriously. They just come in. They have a good time, and I enjoy watching them every single time. Same thing with Tough Beats. I think, Perry with the rap and the very elaborate entrance they had last time. Tough Beats is also a fan favorite now, so it's a mixed bag for me personally because I like them both, but I think it's going to be entertaining going forward. What about you, Frank?
It's going to be very interesting because this is a really interesting match for Jonathan to try and put together, because this could really catapult. This is more upside for Real Rejects than it does Tough Beats, in my opinion, because Real Rejects was down and out. They get the win, and if they get this win against Tough Beats, which I think is very, very possible. I'm not sure this was. I mean, I don't know who else Tough Beats can go after at this point besides someone else trying to come up the ladder, but I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this match will go. And will Real Rejects become a little heelish?
I don't know. I kind of like them the way they are. I like their vibe, man. I really dig them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how they work. And with RB3 and Cobster now, I would say they're staying more on the good side of things than they are the bad.
I would kind of love to see RB3 go a little heel, just because it'd be funny, but also not serious, but just him sort of like taking a crack at it, but not being serious. I don't know if that makes sense.
You know what's funny? It's funny you say that, because the times that I've seen him where he's all laughing, he had the camera on the Schmoes No Show, the laughing, and everyone loves it. Everyone loves him. And then when he gets the Cobster Kristian rant, he switches, and you kind of back up a little bit, and he's got that. You saw that in the post game interview too.
Yeah,
it's where he's like RB3, like the attitude there. I would love to see a little bit more of that too. That'd be awesome.
The dude's got some charisma, that's for sure. And when he busted out the RB3, it reminded me of a certain person that I like to enjoy in the world of sports entertainment that had similar numbers or similar letters to their name, and that was RVD. So I really enjoyed RB3, and I like his new attitude, like you guys said, man. Like, it's just, you don't expect it, but when you get it, you are taken aback. You're like, holy shit. And the dude's got skills, man. The guy on the mic is good. Like, it's a natural. There's people that are just naturals at being on the mic, and RB3 is showing that charisma, that attitude that's going to get him more matches, and I am super excited for it. I've been high on RB3 since the beginning, so it doesn't surprise me if he does very well in the Schmoedown going. But let's move on. This is a match we're probably going to talk a lot about because it seems like some people have some mixed feelings. It was Josh the Wild Man Macuga versus Finstock in a loser leaves town match. The loser was Josh Macuga lost. He was out of the Schmoedown for a year, and if Finstock lost, he is banned for life. Unbelievable. So, first and foremost, before we get to the scoring breakdown, out comes Finstock, and then somehow out comes Tom Dagnino. What the hell is this? And we knew there was going to be some kind of ruse. Like, I think we all kind of felt something was amiss, because Finstock took that challenge way too easily. And we saw it. We saw what I will refer to as Finn Draco showed up into this match. And Josh Macuga could have easily said, no, I'm not doing this. Give me Finstock. And Josh Macuga, having the brass balls of steel, said, I don't care who it is. If it's Finstock or Anfaco, as I believe he called him. And Josh Macuga went into battle against the android, Mark Andraco, dressed as Finstock. I guess you can call him Finstock if you want. But the scoring breakdown went like this. In round one, it was Finn Draco going 4 of 8 for 4 points. Macuga continuing to slump in the first round, going 1 of 8 just to manage 1 point. In round two, it was Finn Draco getting 70s, going 3 of 4 for 6 points. Josh Macuga getting action adventure, going 4 of 4 for 6 points. And Josh Macuga did get a 2-point steal in the Willy Wonka question, so well done there. In round three, it was Finn Draco getting the 1, got the 3, missed the 5. Josh Macuga missed the 1, got his 3, and somehow, I don't know how he did it, got the 5. And Josh Macuga defeats Finn Draco 17-14. Guys, what did you think of this one?
This was amazing. This was just, it's going to be one of the all-time great matches, great spectacles of the Schmoedown. This was I somewhat expected some shenanigans from Finstock. I wasn't sure what to exactly expect. I'll have to admit, when Finstock first walked out, I thought it was actually Finstock. I didn't really pay attention to the head, the face. I didn't really pay attention. And then I saw Tom Dagnino walking. I was like, wait, hold on, what the hell's happening?
That was Finstock.
Well, yeah. And, Finstock, the Enigma, was turned around, and then here comes Tom Dagnino. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because it was a pretty similar build, I thought. I was genuinely confused, guys. I really, really was. It was hilarious. I was like,
cloned.
Yeah. I was like, wait, does this son of a bitch have a twin that we don't know about? I mean, because that would have been amazing. But anyway,
that's a Shyamalan plot twist. Right?
Yeah, I was like, shit's getting crazy. Anyways, when I find out it's Andreyko, I just said, oh god, oh no, this is it. This is bad news for Macuga. And to his credit, Macuga, he just said, you know what, F it, let's go. And I think he was just sick of all of that kind of stuff that Finstock encapsulates. He said, you know what, here we are, let's go, let's do it. And then that first round happened, and I go, that was a bad move, Macuga, getting just 1 point in the first round. I think that's the worst first round we've had thus far this year. It was, and he's been historically bad in the first round, as you alluded to earlier. I mean, barely answering half. If my numbers are correct here, he had lifetime heading into this match. He was at 48%. So to add another 2 questions on to what he's used to, yeah, definitely didn't do him any favors. Obviously, second round rolled around. He got a huge steal off of Finstock / Fandraco. I don't know what to call this dude.
I like Fandraco. I like the name of Fandraco. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, Fandraco's pretty good. So I'm just going to refer to him as the opponent, So
sure.
And that 2-point steal, it can't be stated how huge that steal is, because that at the end of Macuga's, he's within reach now, within reasonable reach, head into that third round, and he pulls out that 5-pointer, the John Hurt question. Just add it to the Broderick file. I mean, it's really on that kind of level almost. So glad to see this match have the conclusion that it did with Macuga the victor. So, and I'm just looking forward to how does Tom Dagnino incorporate himself now.
That is the big question. Paul, what did you think of this?
I saw this and I immediately was like, I kind of told you so a little bit, but I kind of didn't. The way he pulled it off, that coming out there, I mean, you can easily put this as entrance of the year nominee. I mean, no spectacle, but oh my god, everyone's like, how did he do that? Like, I immediately thought, it's camera trick? No. Oh my gosh, it's Andreyko. It was like it was shocking because I was during the pregame stuff. I would say pregame, sorry, the pre-match. The promo that Finstock was pushing. I mean, yes, we get it. He's a loser. We get it. Like, I was like, how many times are you going to repeat? Bottom line, he's a loser. We get it. Think of something else. I got bored by it. But then that entrance came in and totally was like, it got me right back into it. And, just everything about it. I mean, like we said in our past show, it was more about the spectacle than it was the questions. But then round 2, I mean, an equal 6-6. I mean, it was unbelievable. They both took their first spins. And I don't know, Frank, if you have that stat, how many pick the first spin or how many go to the second spin, but I'd love to hear that if you have that. Do you have that?
I do. Hold on.
Wow. All right. I would love to hear that because it's been quite a while since we've heard that everyone picked first spin and it wasn't opponent's choice or team choice.
I noticed that too. I can't remember a time that I've seen both contestants take the first one.
Right.
So that's weird.
Yeah, and I tell you what, do you have that now?
Yeah. So
okay, what do you got?
Here we go. And this is every single singles match, including Ultimate Schmoedown tournament. Hold on. Okay, so here we go.
And we're waiting.
57.26% repick in the second round, so that leaves 42% of the time they stay with their first option.
That seems high.
That does seem higher to me.
Yeah,
that definitely does.
But if we go down to Ultimate Schmoedown, just Ultimate Schmoedown, that drops down to 39% stay with their first option.
That sounds more like it to me.
And then in just regular league play, it's at 45% they stay with the first option.
Yeah, and so that's.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I hate to do this, but I have to interrupt. I apologize, but I just got a DM, and it's from Tom Dagnino. Once again, I apologize. He got word from Finstock, and Finstock wants to make a statement and wants me to read it aloud on the show. So I apologize. This was not planned. I'm just going to read it verbatim. This is from Tom Dagnino at Bob Finstock. Said that he just got word from Finstock, and here's what he had to say about the match. And I quote, Finstock equals ratings. Poof. There you have it.
So nothing new from Finstock.
There you have it.
That's amazing.
Moving the hell along.
Finstock's thoughts, everybody.
Unbelievable. Unoriginal as usual. All right. Well, with that being said, I would tell you what, I have to apologize to my kids, and once they hear this back, if they hear this back, I actually scared them when third round came around and he got that John Hurt question. I literally threw the pen, like I went, yes! And I completely, because I didn't know if he got it right. And when Kristian finally said, and your winner, the Wild Man, I'm like, yes! And my daughter's like, Daddy, you scared me. Like, I have no, and this is what it brought. And this is the Schmoedown. And this is what we have in front of us. And how awesome is it that it's movie trivia and we have that reaction, positive or negative, about something as simple as movie trivia. So hats off to every single person involved in this. I cannot believe what I just saw. I'm just in awe of everything.
It's like college football. It's like anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday, or if you watch the movie, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. And I take nothing away from Josh Macuga. I think with a win like this and that pull from John Hurt, that puts Macuga into legendary status. That is a legendary trademark victory that I don't think anyone's going to forget for a while. And I was reading the YouTube comments, and dude, it was unbelievable because people were pissed. They're like, I came to see Macuga versus Finstock. Technically, you got Macuga versus Finstock. Let's just put that aside. Number two, are you kidding me, dude? What a match. What a match. Would you want to see, as Finstock put it himself in our interview, would you want to see Finstock and Josh Macuga answering questions about effing Pixar? Of course not. It'd be a snooze fest. So what a match, man. What a match. So I don't understand the YouTube comments at all. If you didn't like it, I mean, I guess that's your prerogative. I just don't understand it myself.
Well, it's the same thing like we mentioned before, is the fact that he is a heel. He is a bad guy. Same thing in movies. If you hate a character, guess what? They're doing their job. So if you're pissed, then he has done his job.
He's a coward. He's playing the coward right now. So he wouldn't face Josh Macuga himself, so that makes him a coward, albeit now you hate him even more. So that's kind of the deal. You're exactly right, Paul. That's exactly how it should be, and that's exactly what happened. So Finstock did his job, and unfortunately for us, we won't be seeing Finstock for a long time, it seems. Though I was interested in the interaction between Tom Dagnino and Jen Sturger. I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be something incredibly epic and terrifying, but it ended up being a little bit more subdued than I thought it would be.
Because it was Tom.
Yeah, it was Tom. So Tom's just Tom. He's box office breakdown. So that kind of threw me a little bit for a loop. But one more thing. Josh Macuga seems to be on a tirade. He wants to beat everybody in the Lions Den. Started with Finn Draco. He's beaten JT before. He'll probably try to beat him again. And now he wants the Snyder, Jeff Snyder. He called out Jeff Snyder. He said he thinks he can beat him. He wants him next. Frank, what do you think of Macuga v. Snyder down the road sometime?
I cannot wait for this one. This is another match that I didn't think that I wanted to see. Also, is Macuga like an honorary Four Horsemen? Because you saw Roka and them come out there and lift him off his feet and and now he's all of a sudden taking out the Lions Den instead of the Four Horsemen. So kind of an interesting thing going on there. But this match,
keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. So, but this match between Macuga and Snyder, I think it's actually it's a pretty even matchup, to tell you the truth. And with Macuga just having that magic, I actually going right now, I think I would give Macuga the slight edge over Snyder.
He's got the hot hand, no doubt about it. Paul, what do you think?
I think, isn't it the phrase, the friend of my enemy is my friend? I think that's how it's going, because the Lions Den got defeated by Macuga. That's the rival to the Four Horsemen. So, of course, the Four Horsemen are going to be happy about it.
It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Sound like a JTE motto.
Yeah.
There for a hot second.
Well, it's something like that. But I try to put it in my head with the Dick Tracy part when he was in the car. He was trying to figure out that saying too. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I actually talked to Macuga a little bit afterwards, because I was a big fan of his shirt at the beginning during his promo, that black shirt that he had with all the colors on it. So I was like, hey, that shirt was spot on. And he was telling me a little bit about that. But he put the quote in this after I told him how I lost my shit basically in round 3, and he says, "It starts the year of Macuga as I make my run to the title." So he is focused. So if it goes to Snyder, I mean, he's the next one in line. I mean, it looks like we almost have dueling parallel, like, revenge tours almost, like Macuga and Kristian both going at, like, having their own little plan, their own little, like, personal vendetta against people. So if he's next, if Snyder's next, I would have to say Macuga might edge out Snyder in maybe a 1 or 2 pointer type of a game. So I can't wait to see that down the line as well.
Can we just? I actually forgot to bring this up, but I feel like it's relevant. So, Finn Draco's last question was a James Bond question. Can we kind of agree as a group here that James Bond is such a wild card category? Like, it seems, and I've talked about this before, like, it seems like one of those categories where it's like, yeah, I could probably figure that out. But there's so many James Bond movies with so many characters, and now it fouled up Finn Draco. It fouled up the Superhero News. It's weird, man. Do you guys feel the same way about James Bond, Frank?
Yeah, it's like we have movie release dates, quotes, and now James Bond. Like, these are like the 3 deadly categories, apparently. Yeah, it's really interesting to see. And I think we have touched on this before, and I've said before that it's really a hit or miss with James Bond. Either, like, you grew up with one part of Bond and, like, you know it really well, so you don't know the other parts as well. It's
right.
I mean, and it got on Draco. I mean,
there were 2 Bond questions in this match, I believe, because Macuga got one.
Yeah,
he got the Tomorrow Never Dies question, which I actually knew because that's like one of the handful that I've seen. So, what do you think, Paul?
I mean, honestly, James Bond is worse than picking 70s or 90s, because if you look at it, 1962 to 2015. That's the era of James Bond. 26 movies. How many different James Bonds have there been? 5, 6? I mean, that's a
trivia question. Yeah,
that's a lot of information. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of characters. That's a lot of plots. That's a lot of paying attention. All those years, you have to be an uber fan. Like, that's almost like an Innergeekdom type of a category in a way. So, I mean, it's a good thing I don't think we've seen it on the wheel yet. It's just popped up in different rounds in like 1 or 3. I haven't seen it in 2 yet. So that's a tough one. And it does rank up there in probably the top 3 biggest roadblocks for the competitors.
Yeah.
Tough one. I got a tweet that I want to read from a fellow Schmoedown combatant. I don't know why I said fellow. I don't compete, but it is from one William the Beast Bibiani, and it goes, so basically Bob Finstock assembled the Lions Den to literally fight his battles for him, and it didn't even work. # growl growl. So the Beast is on the prowl, and
he's on the growl.
He's on the growl. Oh, wow. There it is. Oh, wow. That is amazing. Oh, well done, sir. That is great. So, so this match has been quite a buzz for everybody, whether you liked it or not, which I don't understand how you wouldn't like it, but I digress. So, I had a great time with it. I thought it was great.
One more thing real quick.
Yeah, of course.
this came up in the Schmoeville Facebook page. Well, do you ever think we'll see a Macuga Dagnino match?
No.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think we need it. Let me repose a question to the group. Do you see Macuga teaming and forming a stable with Kristian and Mark?
Ooh.
Now that Kristian has beaten him, and that's all, their rivalry's over, it's squashed, I could see a team right now of Kristian, Mark, Macuga, and you could fill in the blank right there. It could be Riley, it could be Voitko and Perry, it could be anybody to stick in there collider-wise. So I don't. You guys do with that what you will. Just kind of keep that on the brain. I think that would be a great idea.
I have just a really just off the top theory.
Sure.
I think Wolves of Steel is going to end up breaking up.
Okay.
And so Macuga is going to go with Kristian and Ellis, and then Riley's going to go over because now he's going to be free, and then Wolf will join the Young Bucks.
You think so?
Why not?
So Clark leaves the Wolves of Steel to become the Lone Wolf. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's move on. Speaking of Clark, Wolf, and Mark Riley, let's talk about team previews. This week it is Team 6 Degrees, Brianne Chandler and Stacey Howard, friends of the show, versus the Wolves of Steel, Mark Riley and Clark Wolf. Frank, how do you see this one going? What do you got?
Well, it goes against my theory of Wolves of Steel breaking up.
Well, it's already over.
Debunked already.
No, because Mega Powers won and then they split up, so this could still happen.
Okay,
but I doubt it. But no, I am going to pick Wolves of Steel against my fantasy teammate, team player in Brianne. So kind of unfortunate that I'm, going against myself, I guess. Yeah, Wolves of Steel, I think Riley getting that win is huge, and I think Clark's going to feed off of that positive energy from Riley, and I think she's really eager, because she hasn't competed in a long time.
It's been a minute.
And I think she's really eager to get back in there and to let people know, hey, don't forget about me, I'm here, and I think both of them are going to have an absolute awesome match, and it's going to be everything that we thought Wolves of Steel would be. And unfortunately, Team 6 Degrees is going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's going to be a tough loss for them and myself.
I sense a DM coming your way, but before I get to you, I know Clark was recently on 6 Degrees the podcast. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe Brianne and Stacey booked these guests because they've had Jeff Snyder on as well. And William Bibiani was on recently, so I'm kind of thinking like maybe they're scouting the players here, which is not a bad strategy at all. It's a great
bravo.
So I just want to throw that out there. Paul, what do you think of this matchup?
I kind of going along with Frank. I mean, it's been a while for 6 Degrees too. I mean, we haven't seen them compete in a while. Both of them this time. I mean, the only one that's really had the experience since we've started this new season is Mark Riley, and so. And then Clark's been out with her surgery, but 6 Degrees are still doing their other podcasts. They're still doing their other ventures with all those guests that you saw, with maybe even soaking in the knowledge, like you said, scouting them, maybe even gaining knowledge from all their guests that they've been seeing, and knowing how strong Brianne is in the animation area for at least one competitor being strong in animation. It's too close to call. It truly is. Like if I think about it, if I want to base it off the fact that it's been a while from 6 Degrees competing under those lights in that circumstance versus Wolves of Steel seeing Riley being under those lights already. And even you can even think about it this way, that Clark's been guests and panelists on shows on Collider. It's the same lights, it's the same studio. And granted, I know Brianne was on the Schmoes No Show last week, or 2 weeks ago. She did an awesome job, by the way. I hope to see her back again. So in a way, if you want to add that into a factor, because it's the same studio, it's the same lights in a way, the edge to me might lean a little Wolves of Steel. in my eyes. But again, it's got to be between 1 or 2 points. There's going to be, again, that wheel's going to do it. Actually, we don't. Honestly, in this new season, we got to say it's got to be that first round again. It can't be that wheel anymore. It's more that first round's going to get somebody. They're going to trip up somehow, not get the name written down quick enough, or not just completely blank, because it could be against their learning style. Going back to in my background with education, having themselves write it down might not be something that they like to do. They maybe just want to say it instead of write it down, and so they might blank on that because, again, they couldn't get it down in time. Who knows anymore? With that first round being the way that it is a new beast, put in quotes. So it could trip up one person, it could trip up another, and like I said, 1 or 2 points maybe pull it out for Wolves of Steel. I think at this moment, 1 or 2 points, I think Wolves of Steel's got it.
I hear your argument about the lights, but I don't know, because at this point, the Team 6 Degrees is not new anymore. They've had 2 matches now. So, and they've played very well. They played very well against Team Trek, who is now the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships. So I don't know if the lights will be an issue. I don't know if that kind of big stage. I kind of look at this as 2 teams that one of them, whoever wins this, is going to have the rocket attached to them, which means they're going straight to the top, and the other team is just going down. So I don't know if the Wolves of Steel lose, does this put them in a scenario where the next match that they have is they have to break up? And 6 Degrees, if they lose, are they another step towards that happening? I mean, I'm not a big fan of teams breaking up, but I get it. But for me, I'm kind of like you, Paul. I see this as a 2-horse race. It's too close to call for me as well, but I mean, we'll have to make a prediction at some point. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Frank, give me a winner. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wolves of Steel.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I see the push notification. All right, Paul, what do you got for me? Who you got in this matchup?
I feel that my notifications are going to start running as soon as I see Brienne sees this. I got Wolves of Steel by one, I think.
1 point. Wow.
Oh, wait a minute! I have Clark on my team too. I'm an idiot. Jeez.
Frank apparently doesn't know how to play fantasy, but that's okay. that's all right.
Idiot. Oh, well. Hey, Wolves of Steel.
I have a feeling that the looming distraction of JTE and JTE versus Clark, will Mark Riley and Clark fight each other? It's kind of like, what? I don't know. What's going to happen? There's too many variables with the Wolves of Steel right now, and quite frankly, I don't think they've had a good performance so far. So I'm going to take the other way. I'm going to take Team 6 Degrees. I think this will be a statement win for them, catapulting them up towards, a higher ranked component, maybe ETC. Who knows? Hopefully. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully they can get the victory. Now let's move on. We've got a title match this week. It's title time. It is the first time that the Innergeekdom Championship will be defended. It will be Robert Meyer Burnett versus Hector Navarro in what promises to be the nerdiest, sweatiest Schmoedown yet. Paul, I'm going to kick it to you on this one. What do you think of this?
I am intrigued because the fact that we saw that at the Spectacular, we had all those rounds, we had all those competitors. Will this be just like a regular match? Will there be 3 rounds? Will there be 5 rounds? I'm pretty sure since it's a title match, there'll be 5. But will they be the same exact as a regular championship match? Or will it be different because of the Innergeekdom ways of the questions that are the way that they have them? I'm intrigued immediately. In fact, I was totally intrigued during the Spectacular, and it was spectacular, for lack of a better word. It was amazing. I cannot wait to see this. This kind of is almost in my wheelhouse as well. All the questions that were there, minus a little Star Trek. I'm not as strong as Star Trek, but everything else, I love that type of genre, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens. And can somebody at least hold on to a title besides Merle? I mean, we see a lot of backs and forths with the tag titles. I mean, so it'll be very interesting to see if after the first title defense, will Robert Meyer Burnett hold on to the championship. So that's another thing you got to play into effect too. Is that pressure of being that champion? Is that going to get to him or not? Because I mean, Hector did a really good job against him, and I can't remember if he Frank, you probably back me up on this. Beat him in one of the rounds during the Innergeekdom Championship match at the Spectacular. But it seems this is going to be another back and forth, knockdown, drag out affair.
Fantastic, Frank. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think we'll see someone handing the belt to the other person.
Really? Okay.
I do. And I go back to how both performed in the inaugural match, and both Robert Meyer Burnett and Hector Navarro each had the opportunity to answer 29 questions, both of them. Navarro answered 25 correctly. Robert Meyer Burnett answered 22 correctly.
Ooh.
Okay. Just so happens that Robert Meyer Burnett got the most points when it counted. Got the points when it counted. So by that measure, I would definitely give the edge to Navarro because he dominated very well in that first round. He came away with 9 out of 10. Robert Meyer Burnett came away with 8 out of 10 in that first round. In the second round, Navarro and Robert Meyer Burnett each got 6 points, but Hector Navarro had a higher percentage, just the way it worked out, because Robert Meyer Burnett had to get a sudden death question. In the third round, Hector Navarro just smoked everybody. He got 12 points to Robert Meyer Burnett's. He only needed 3 points, so it's kind of unfair, but still, Hector Navarro just destroyed Champion and Robert Meyer Burnett, especially when it came to the steel portion when that was up for grabs. So I think Navarro could definitely take it, and I was kind of thinking that Robert Meyer Burnett would hold on to it, but I just don't think he's going to get as many cracks at Star Trek questions as he did in the past match. So, and I think that could be a big deciding factor for Robert Meyer Burnett's chances of holding on to the belt.
So you're saying that you feel firmly and are taking Hector Navarro?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, very nice. Man, it's tough. It's another tough one to call. And we said, any given day, anybody can beat anybody. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be like an Ellis and Merle type of title match. I feel like it's going to be a tight match all throughout. It kind of depends on what categories get there. Like if Robert Meyer Burnett gets a little bit more Star Trek, then I would give the edge to him, and kind of so on and so forth. It's a tough one to call, man, but me personally, I'll give my prediction. I'm going to stick with the champ. I'm going to take Robert Meyer Burnett. I think that he can hold on to it. I think he can be the champion for a long time if he wants to be, and it's his belt to lose. So Paul, give me a firm prediction. Who you got in this one?
I'm the deciding one. You got one for Hector, one for Robert. And you guys touched upon it. Looking back, I even looked at the Innergeekdom Championship match at the Spectacular, kind of looked at what questions were asked, what topics were asked, and it was more 6 or 7 questions towards DC and Marvel versus, I think there were 4 or 5 for Star Trek and Star Wars. So there was a pretty good balance. And I kind of, it was Frank did it. His stats kind of pushed me to the side. I think new champ will be crowned and Hector will take it.
Oh, the champ is here. His name is Hector Navarro, apparently, from this
There were 6 Star Trek questions, by the way.
6, okay.
Oh. Ooh.
And also, look, in round 3, Hector Navarro had scores in soundtrack, and he aced them all for 2 points. So I don't know how more geeky you can get.
Don't sleep on him for movie release dates either, because in that team match, good gravy.
And he passed that up to get the scores and soundtracks. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. Well, that's going to do it for the previews this week. Actually, before we go, I want to make one more prediction. It's Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Am I supposed to say the big game? I'm not saying that. It's Super Bowl Sunday, for God's sake.
We have to pay somebody now. Thanks.
I'm not paying anybody.
Edit that out.
I'm not paying anybody. All right, so it's the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. Frank, I want to start this one with you. Patriots, Falcons. Be logical. Don't just hate Tom Brady. Who you got?
Man, I know it's kind of, I didn't really follow football as much as I used to in the past, but Oh, I hate that. I hate the words coming out of my mouth right now. I'm probably going to say the Patriots.
Oh, good gravy. Oh boy. Oh,
Yeah.
the Patriots. Okay, not Team Patriots. Tom Brady's Patriots.
Yeah.
All right. Paul, who you got? Falcons. You got the Dirty Birds. You got the Patriots.
You guys know me really well. What hat am I wearing? You see the hat?
Looks like
Do you
it's a fleur de lis. So that
same.
means
Do you see the shirt here?
Thanks.
The Falcons. Go. Go Patriots.
clap that at that out. All right, so yeah, that's a fleur de lis. Ding. All right. Yes, I generally I would take the Patriots because they have the #1 defense, and the Falcons have like the #1 offense. They're super fast. I'm taking the Falcons. I think the Falcons can win, and I think they're going to win 24-20. I know Tom Brady's going to come in peeved off because of the whole Deflategate thing. Did he take the balls and order the guy to deflate him? Who the hell knows? So I like the Falcons, and that's not what this show is about. So let's go ahead and end the show. How about that? Yay. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody for listening, but before we go, we need to know where everybody can be found. Good Lord. Where everybody can be found online. So, Paul Wolf, sir, where can you be found?
Well, you can find me on Facebook just find me at Paul Wolf all through the Facebook pages in Schmoeville and Movie Trivia Schmoedown and the Fan Movie Trivia Schmoedown page that we have as well. You'll find me on Twitter at the Mr. Wolf. That's TheMrWulff. A little bit different than Clark's last name. And you'll find me on Instagram at the Mr. Wolf 12.
And they're not related, just to be sure.
No.
Frank, where can you be found, man?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, FrankieJ29, and also just throughout all the Schmoeville-related Facebook group pages all over, that stuff thing.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at ATTitanium. And guys, do us a favor. Go to iTunes. Go to the Schmoes No feed on iTunes. Give us a thumbs up. Well, you can't thumbs up. Give us a rate and a review. Give us a 5-star rating. We'd really appreciate it. Helps out all the shows on the channel. You don't need me to tell you this. Just go do it. And, of course, give us a thumbs up on YouTube and write in the comments section who you think is going to win next week's matchups as well as the Super Bowl, if you will. And for the rest of the panel, my name's Aaron. Schmoedown Rundown. We're out of here. We'll see you.